Hello everybody, it's me again. Right, another episode of The Cave, or as I like to call it, the Haze Hour Warm-Up Act. Right, so tonight then we've got Rhydian coming on to possibly do his last EFVI update. More on that in a moment. I'll be having a little look at the Bravari P3. And of course we'll have the next episode of Beyond Vaping with Very Boring. So, titles.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Okie dokie.
Hello, right, here we are, and as you can see, no, that way is Rhydian.
Hello!
Hello. Right, so EFVI then. It's on its last legs now, isn't it? Well, not last legs, on its final run, shall we say.
Yeah, the current EFVI campaign has 6 days left. So the deadline's November the 25th.
So that's next Tuesday then.
Yes, it is.
Do we have any figures to mull over at the moment, or?
Yes, I've UK currently standing at 36,518 signatures, which is 66.7%.
Ooh.
And from my Dodo Box collections, 2,285, but I've got about another 100 or so to go through.
Oh, okay. Fair number still then.
Yes.
Do we know what the actual full total is as so far, across the entirety of Europe, or?
Give me a second. No. Oh, crikey. I wish I had the right link up now. Current total statements. 176,624 out of 1,000,000.
Alright, so it's fairly obvious then we're not going to hit that target, isn't it?
Oh, well, they designed the target to be unreachable in essence.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. On one hand, it could have been easily reached if every single vapor actually did sign it, but it's getting that message out there was the trouble, wasn't it?
Well, consider this. This isn't going to be the EFVI solely, and I know Yoda will back me up on this.
Yeah.
This could essentially be a dry run for something bigger and better next time.
No.
I'm really disappointed that a lot of people, the estimated 700,000 haven't, signed up. It's a disappointment, but but from a Welsh point of view, I cannot thank the vendors that helped me out enough, and I'm sure the other region coordinators will say the same.
I mean, looking at it, even still, I mean, it's been a massive achievement. The amount of people that did actually sign. I don't suppose any of us, realistically thought we'd maybe even get this far. We all hoped and prayed, but was it a case of we weren't sure how many people would actually sign up for this, or?
I don't know. You've got to think of it this way. There are a fair few vapors that are out there that do everything from home, order in, and live in the middle of nowhere. And then you have other vapors that go, "Oh, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I've got everything."
Yeah, they're the ones that get on my nerves, I've got to be honest. Not to put anyone down, but the folk that actually sit there and go, I've got enough liquid, I've got enough equipment, I've got enough wire, I'm okay. Yeah, well, what about everyone else?
It's like we've got B has just said apathy rules if they can be asked, lol, and personally I think that's right.
Yes, yeah, I just seen that scroll up there as well. It's Dave Dawn or Hi-Fi Studies says, I was going to set up a national apathy party, but I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, but then it's not just about like the individual vapors signing up. It's about the shops as well, pulling their finger out, and others not pulling their finger out.
I know a fair few shops did sign up for it, and there were a lot of online vendors that put up banners on their websites. They sent out mail shots, this sort of thing. So a lot of vendors did play their part.
It seems to me, from my point of view, because in Wales we've got the Smokers Angel chain, the Siggy chain based around Cardiff. Hi B, there's a plug for you. Sorry. But from my point of view, it's these individual independent shops.
Yeah, okay.
Like my top contributor with 216 is one shop based in Cwmbran.
Right.
And that's the equivalent of half of the signatures that Jess Harding has from London the last time I looked.
Right.
How can one country outdo the capital of Great Britain? Yeah.
But then London is a rule unto itself. You know, having lived there for a number of years, it's well, there we go. It's its own entity, really.
Yeah, you can't compare London itself and then put it against the rest of the UK.
Oh, no.
It's like comparing Cardiff with Pontypool, for example.
I'm sure when all the final tallies come in, the statistics will be quite interesting viewing. You know, just to get an idea of where in the UK, you know, the most active of vapors are. You know, the ones that really are really into you know, the whole politics of it all, shall we say?
Well, you can either be in the politics or you just really like your new nicotine habit.
Yeah.
It's because it's how do I put it? We all know that it's a better habit for us compared to smoking. It's just that we need to tell everybody who is looking to quit. I have to use that word because it's context.
Yeah, okay.
That are looking to get off tobacco then. But they need to know about vaping.
Mm.
And, you know, like that ties in with the ads that VTDV have mulled over for the past week and a bit. But then it's just getting the awareness and the visualization of it.
I do think the tide is turning slightly. I mean, I'm not the best person to talk to in the whole politics of e-cigs. I've got to be honest. I mean, I don't really have the time to keep up with it all. I mean, there's a lot going on. But yesterday with the Scottish e-cigarette debate there, which Catherine Devlin did a sterling job on, and of course the Jerry Stimpson speech in Liverpool. Which,
oh yes.
Yeah, well, I watched some of that this morning before I went to work. I haven't actually managed to watch all of it, but what I did see, I mean, superb work there. And even just going back to the Scottish e-cig things, Jerry Mean seems to have slightly changed his opinion on things.
Yeah, well, let's just keep an eye on that, shall we?
Yeah. I'm not going to, say he's turned, because I doubt he has. But
otherwise, yeah, if he turned, it'll be Jeremy Good instead of Jeremy Pleasant.
It'll be opposite land, opposite day, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
But it's, it was nice to see a level-headed and adult debate, as opposed to just people just throwing facts out there which aren't facts. You know, that was something I quite enjoyed watching.
And that brings me nicely on. I know it's a bit of a skew, because do you think Scotland have learnt from the Welsh Government's consultation?
That did cross my mind, I've got to be honest. They didn't make the mess of it that the Welsh Government have.
Yeah, what Scotland have done, they've consulted with the experts. Yes, they didn't include vapers, but that's something else. They could consult with a massive group of vapers and members of public health down the line as well.
Yeah.
Which is something the Welsh Government completely passed by.
Yeah.
Ah!
I mean, I can draw my own experience of that. I shan't say too much, but I do work for a local authority in Wales, and that's all I'm saying. And they, a few years ago, actually put out an email. Well, I actually initially approached them when I first started vaping, and I said, and there was no policy on electronic cigarettes at the time. And so I sent an email to the HR department, which then told me to get in touch with the Health and Safety department. Yeah, I know you love health and safety, didn't you? And they basically turned around and said to me, we do not allow it. The policy is going to be updated, yada, yada, yada. And it is in conflict with our promoting healthier employees, our healthier working, or whatever you want to call it. And I've still got it. There's a whole email chain. And I actually asked to be part of, when the policy gets reviewed, to actually be part of the meeting so I can present, what I understood at the time. They never responded. They completely ignored me.
Yeah, and that's what really, really annoys me. Thing is, oh look, I'm a big wig in a big company and I tell you what to do. It's your health, but I'm telling you that, you can't do this. It's bad for your health. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Hazel Cheeseman's presentation, which she did at Ash Wales, which she also did again at the e-cigs summit.
Right.
Along with Ian from Public Health England, I believe. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be, the big wigs going, yeah, we're not letting you do this because we can tell you to because we pay you.
Yes, I know. But, having said all that, I do have I just get a feeling that the tide is slightly turning, if not in our favour, but slightly to a more reasonable direction.
Yeah, the more reasonable direction is, as someone pinged in chat, which I missed and lost track of.
Oh, yeah, I've not been keeping an eye on it, I've got to be honest.
Is that we've got to keep an eye on the Totally Wicked case.
Yes. Yeah, that is the first big test of it all, isn't it?
Yeah, because if the Totally Wicked case is shown to be right in what Fraser Cropper and his lawyers, and basically most of us vapers think that it was done completely illegally. It's like, boom, pass it through, no one will notice.
Yep.
And then they will have to do either the whole, to my understanding, I'm sure someone can correct me, that they will have to completely redo the TPD from scratch. If not, just Article 20 from scratch.
Yeah. Thing is, will they just be more clever in their wording, I wonder? You know how they like to... I'm just musing here. You know how they like to sort of hide things behind other things and what have you?
Yes. You can... But we're not thick. We'll notice when they've changed the jargon around just to fill the potholes, if you want to call them that. Yeah. And we'll go, actually, that's not right. The science says this. Oh, wait, you didn't listen to the science again.
Yeah. The thought has occurred as well. social media, of course, wasn't as prevalent as it is now when the smoking ban was introduced.
Yeah.
And I would love to have known what would have happened if the smoking ban was introduced or was going to be introduced at this point.
It'll probably be the same uproar, actually.
Yeah, well, maybe more.
Well, yeah, because you've got the I can't. A lot of smokers. You have a lot of vapors right now, and then consider the amount of vapors that were smokers around the start, around 2007.
Yeah, I certainly was one of them.
And considering the personalities that are in chat that were probably massive smokers, Dave Dawn, for example,
yeah.
Mr. 60 a day, would be like, no, not having none of that. I'll fight tooth and nail.
Right.
And it's exactly what he's been doing now.
Mm. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'd love to have known what would have happened. I mean, I dare say it would have gone through. Maybe a bit more reasonably. I always thought personally that pubs and clubs, it should have been down to the publican and the owner's discretion.
Yeah, and that's what vapors want to see now.
Yeah. People make a choice. You know, if a publican doesn't want you to vape in his pub, fine. I'll go into another pub that does allow me. That's okay.
Yeah. Can I just insert a word into make a choice, make an informed choice?
Okay. Yep.
Because it's easy enough to discuss with the publican, and these are e-cigs, yeah, blah blah blah. They're good, they're safer, and then all you've got to do is stick a poster up in the window going, electronic cigarettes allowed in this pub.
Yeah, yeah. It's what that I don't think it's really going on too much anymore. But the campaign for vaping in pubs, or the Cam VIP.
Yeah.
That I know it had a presence, and it still has a presence on UK Vapors. I don't know if it has elsewhere. I don't really go to other forums, I've got to be honest. But when I was trying to organise the first Wales Vape Meet, I actually went to a local pub to me at the time, and I took a print out of the Cam VIP flyer with all the benefits of allowing vaping in a pub, with the smoking ban, this sort of thing. It's going to potentially encourage people to come back in and spend their money and that sort of thing. And the manager, it was a chain. The manager just looked at me and gave me a cross-eyed look, and then just said, "No, I don't understand what these are." And this was 2 or 3 years ago, so I can kind of see that he didn't understand. But I was trying to explain to him, and he just didn't really want to know, which I found a bit bizarre.
Yeah, and then because we don't want that. We know the pubs are dying out.
Yeah.
And whatnot,
And it's a crying shame, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get back on track with the EFVI.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
Right. I was asked last week on Sunday by Dan Pidcock.
Okay.
About what could we do for the last push. I know that 6 days is a very close deadline, but me and Keith threw a couple of ideas around on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he's finding me throwing this out. It's a bit of a radical idea. It's actually to get the vendors, maybe after this round of EFVI is finished, is to get the vendors, B&Ms, to sell under TPT restrictions.
Okay. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, because interesting is putting it is what some people have put it quite mildly. Some people think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But think of it this way: you're not going to get more public impact than that. Or it's a case of shut the shop. Poster on the window going, we're closed today. Tobacco Products Directives has said we can't run the store because we've got illegal stock.
Yeah.
What would you rather have, a shop that's closed or a shop that's attempting to make an effort to make people more educated?
Yeah, it's it's definitely a radical idea. Let's not use the word interesting. I can't see any bricks and mortars actually wanting to willingly do that though, simply because they aren't in their business.
Yeah, I completely understand that. It was just a thought. Blaze is gone. Shut the shop. Idea fantastic. I don't know whether he's been sarky or because I know Liam. He sometimes is sarcastic. But that's it. It's like a semi-mirroring of what's happened in Spain once they put their restrictions on. The shops have just closed like pubs have already done in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
And B's put another good point in. Her MD wouldn't because there are so many close shops to where she is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can go to pretty much any corner shop now and buy a cigarette. Like.
Yeah, but then you won't be able to get hold of the devices that you like.
That's true. Yeah, and if the TBD comes into effect, that's pretty much what you're going to be buying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Keith. It's just the idea we talked about. I'm just throwing it out there to everyone. So.
It's certainly an idea, but whether anyone's actually got the, and excuse my language, the balls to do it.
Or alternatively, it could be the web-based ones.
Yeah.
Because it's still incoming business at the end of the day, but then there's still the fallback of looking for a B&M shop around where you are.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the web-based vendors, they quite often shut down for a day, for personal reasons or a stock take or what have you.
Yeah. But then you've got to put it in such a way to make people take notice. It's like, oh, we're shut down today, our server's gone. Everyone just doesn't bat an eyelid.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea, to be honest. I can't say I've ever thought that one myself. It's
Yoda came up with a different idea, but that has completely gone out of my head.
Is Yoda in chat?
Yes,
Keith
Yoda
is in chat. Yeah.
So yeah, it's anyway the whole call to arms thing. While I was in here in the first place, yeah. This doesn't go out to everyone in chat because I know you've done exactly what you can do with regarding to get EFVI 6. But what I would ask you to do is go to your shop, give them a push. Go in, come on, your business is at risk here. We've got essentially 5 days left now.
Yeah, no shops open now.
Pull your finger out. Get everyone to sign up. EFVI can't ask for more.
No. And EFVI as a campaign has I think on the whole been quite successful. It's gotten some astounding numbers, and it's going to get a few more by the end of these last few days. And if nothing else, it has shown the powers that be that vapers are an organised group and care about vaping.
Yeah, we're not going to go quietly.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we refuse to go quietly.
We're making a bit of noise. Right, I think we better go to the adverts now. So thank you very much, Rhydian, for coming on. As you know, you're always welcome on the show.
Thank you,
of course, on any of the VT TV shows as well, I'm very sure. So, right, if you want to say goodbye to chat, and I'll play the adverts in.
Goodbye, chat. Goodbye.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Kelpie Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
And we're back. Right. Thank you very much for Rhydian there. That was quite an interesting chat, I'm sure everyone would agree. Quite a radical idea at the end there, I thought. As I said, whether anyone actually do it or not, I don't know. But to be honest, I think maybe some vendors should give it some thought. Anyway, excuse me, I was just fiddling with my camera shots on the break. I think I'm okay. I shouldn't have fiddled. Right, yeah. We're going to have a quick look at this now. So, excuse me, I'm a little bit put off kilter because I thought I messed up my shot, but I hadn't. So, let's switch over to the closey uppy cam. And as you can read, that is the Bravary P3. What it actually is, let's open the box, shall we? And we'll get to these in a minute. It's actually a quite expensive USB stick there. There we go. And it comes with a free Bravary. Is it Bravary or Bravary? I don't know. Anyway, so in the box you will get the manuals on USB key and some leaflets, and that's pretty much what you'll get in the box. And do excuse me, this is a quick whistle-stop tour. The chat with Rhydian took a bit longer than I anticipated. You get a warning that this device uses a single battery and uses only the approved AWIMR red high drain battery in this device. Wow. Okay, and it's got some instructions on cleaning it and you know, general maintenance. And you get another little blurb there about the beauty ring. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's just a box. Let's actually have a look at the device. And here it is. As you can see, I've opted for the brushed version, partly because it was cheapest and partly because I quite like a brushed version of my mods. I've got a few polished focus, but if given a choice, I'll go brush every time you get less fingerprints on them. So that's how I break it down. I have got a battery in here already. It's not an AW, but it's a decent battery nonetheless. So you have your standard basic bottom cap, which I am told does actually has the same threads as the Bavari 2.5. So if you've got a 2.5 bottom cap, you can use that. You have here one extension piece, which then you screw the cap on, and then you've got an 18500 device or 18490, or you can take the other ring off, and you've got an 18350 device. So you've got all three sizes in one, which is a step up from the 2.5, which you basically only bought one size tube, and then you would buy an extension for other batteries. So this actually works out cheaper than the 2.5, which is good. We'll get to the price in a minute anyway. Let's get the bottom cap on there. You just saw there the boot up screen. I'm not going to spend an awful lot of time dwelling on the menu system, simply because it is quite complex, and you know, I really don't have the time to cover it. That would take me half an hour at least to go through every single option on there. P. Posado's done a very good review on this, and very in depth on the menu system. So certainly, if you want to know more about that, then go check his video out. You got your standard, and it is the same button as you would find on a Bavari 2.5. I don't own a Bavari 2.5, but I have used one, so and this is exactly how I remember it feeling. And I've got it set to change colour on every fire. So green there, and that's purple, lilac, pink, I don't know. And it's a single button interface, so I don't think I can really. But there's the menu there, and it scrolls through. And that's all good. So anyway, that's just a quick close-up view of it. I'm not going to go too in-depth on it. There is a lot to go over. Actually, before I do, let's have a look at the top cap. You have a ring here, which comes off, and then you can remove the 510 connector here. It's quite tight in there. I don't have a tool to hand. Or do I? I've never actually removed it myself, so let's use some the edge of some tweezers. No, that's not going to budge. I'm not going to force that. The centre pin is spring loaded to a point. It's quite a stiff, but I can feel it sort of have some give there. But what is interesting about this, if you remove this, you've basically got a hybrid connector. Now, I'm not going to spill any beans by saying that the K-Fun version 4 is going to have, I don't know if it's native or it's an option to fit as a hybrid device on the P3. What that means for the Samovar, I don't know. Maybe they're discontinuing that. I don't know. It's a speculation on my part. But yeah, so some interesting options there. And there's a fair few manufacturers that I've noticed are going through the trying to standardise a different connection to the 510. Not without good reason, really. The 510 is quite a fragile connection, really, and it wasn't really designed for big mods such as this. It was more designed for the Cigar-like market at the time, but you know, it kind of stuck. The other thing to make note of is this isn't a 22mm device, nor is it a 23mm in diameter. I believe it's 22.8mm. So if you've got a 22 or a 23mm device, it's not going to fit flush. But here I've got an expomizer, which is what I've been using on here chiefly. And the 510 connection is a very good connection on here. You know, I've had no issues with anything I put on. As you can see, the expomizer is a 23mm device. And it, you know, it's not 100% flush. I can feel the ridge there if I run my thumb across it, but to the eye, it's fine. So, yeah, perfectly happy with that. Anyway, let's go back to non-close Yuppie Cam. Hello. And I'll have a little vape on it. Now, this is a 20 watt device. Now, a lot of people have commented at length in forums, 20 watts is not enough. Well, I would argue for the majority of vapors, it's more than enough. I've actually got this. I've got a 1.2 ohm coil, and I'm firing it at 15 watts. And it's fine. It's spot on the dot. I mean, if you look at the measurements on these devices, you get exactly what you ask it to do, which has always been the Privari's party piece, if you will. It's kind of no frills. It just gives you exactly what you ask it to give you. Now, interestingly, I did a few sums, and I know that this is the release version. It's not the beta version. The release version, the amp limit is 5.5 amps. Now, my calculations is, if you fire at 6 volts, you can put it in voltage mode as well. 6 volts is the highest it will go in voltage mode. If you put a 1.2 ohm coil on at 6 volts, you're not going to hit the amp limit. I think you'll hit 5 amps. I did have it all written down, but I had problems earlier and didn't bring that bit of paper up with me. So if you fire it at 6 volts at a 1.2 ohm coil, you'll get a 5 amp load, and you'll get 30 watts. And it does fire, but it doesn't give you 30 watts. It will limit it at 20 watts or 6 volts, whatever soonest. So whether that's going to be a firmware upgrade in the future to allow that to maybe even reach 30 watts, I don't know. That's, again, that's speculation on my part. And just reading comments from chats there. The Anna Lawless, Privari's a shaft unless it works better than anything else. Well, yeah, I can't say I agree with that comment. I was always quite reluctant to buy Privari. I know a lot of users swear by them. A lot of users swear at them. They are built like tanks. Generally they don't go wrong. They can go wrong, of course they can. They're electronic items. End of the day, problems can occur. But there's one thing that made me go, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy this, and that was watching the behind-the-scenes video that P. Basado put up on ProVape, and their quality control. That made me think, right, okay, when that P3 comes out, or whatever it's called at the time, because we didn't know, we just assumed it's the P3, I would probably buy one of these. I mean, I actually toyed with the idea of just buying the 2.5, simply because I was so impressed by watching that behind-the-scenes video of their attention to detail and how they just handle quality control and making sure everything's just so. The manufacturing of the tubes, and it goes through 3 different people on a production line. It's quite impressive. And there's other people who go, it doesn't come in a box. Well, it does now, so there's that argument out of the way. I've been using this now for 2 weeks, solidly, for pretty much exactly 2 weeks, and it hasn't missed a beat. I've got to be honest, it's been a very reliable vape. The price is going to make some people balk. I mean, this particular model I've got here, that was $189.99 in the UK, of course, pounds. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, is it? I mean, you can buy a Sigeli box mod that does 100 watts for, 60, 70 quid, something like that. So if pure power's your aim of your game, then, well, you're not going to entertain this anyway. But if you want something reliable and it's got a decent guarantee behind it, and I know these are not tried and tested yet. I know these have only been out for a very short period of time. But I'm fairly convinced that, the quality of the workmanship is there. And something's went ping. So, I'm quite happy with that. At the end of the day, it's your choice. But if you want something reliable, I would say, yeah, go for it. No doubt there'll be other options in the future that they've done with the 2.5, different colour schemes, this sort of thing. Maybe a different screen colour. Obviously, the battery, you can the button, you can. You can change the colour to suit. There's about 5 or 6 different colours there. So, if that really is important to you, you can do that. There you go. But I did buy it for my own money. It wasn't a gift or anything like that. It wasn't sent to me a review. I bought it because, you know what, I kind of fancied one. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so I thought, I'd buy one and review it just for my birthday. Anyway, it was a shorter review than I anticipated to do. I didn't want to pre-record it. I actually wanted to do one live, just to have a go at doing a live review. But unfortunately, time kind of gets in the way. Anyway, let's go to another ad break, and then we'll crack on with Beyond Vaping, shall we?
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
Hello, right, and thank you for everyone in chat for wishing me happy birthday tomorrow and that sort of thing. Anyway, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought, what the hell. Right, I just had a quick skim through chat. I was scrolling past pretty quick, so I've managed to grab it all. But Rob's actually asked the question. No, I don't want to install Java. Silly things. Why am I doing a show? Rob's asked the question, given the price, how much better is it than a Vamo? I have no experience of Vamos after the V2. And here is my Vamo V2, and it's a bit beaten up. That's actually on purpose. I actually took a Dremel to it and started distressing it by taking some of the chrome off to expose some of the brass underneath. That's on purpose. And I've got to be honest, this is a couple of years old now, and it's been fine. I've never had any trouble with it at all. No issues whatsoever. And it's a fraction of the price of the Bavary. The P3, which I didn't mention just in the last segment, will fire a coil down to 0.7 ohms. The Vamo V2, which I have, I believe the bottom limit is 1.1 ohms. I don't know what it is. I think up to version 6 now or something. I really don't know. I've got no experience with them after the version 2, I've got to be honest. Okay, so honestly, if you're happy with a Vamo, buy the Vamo. Ultimately, you know, it's a battery carrier. If you want something with the quality control or whatever that ProVape will give you, then buy the Bavary. If you're happy to buy a Vamo and in a couple of years' time it breaks and you're happy to buy another one for 30 quid or whatever it is, fine. You know, ultimately, it's your money, isn't it? You know, I'm just giving you my experiences on this device, and all I can say is that personally, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the price of it, and it's a keeper in my collection. Anyway, let's go with that. you know, I'll try and keep things honest as I can. Let's have the next episode of Beyond Vaping with Very Boring, shall we? Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Beyond Vaping with me, Very Boring, talking to vapers about mostly non-vaping related issues. This episode, I am joined by Ryan Talk Taylor. How are you, Ryan?
I'm very well, thank you. Just changing my battery.
The first question is, where did you grow up?
The Royal City of Worcester.
You're one of them Mustafarians. Yeah.
I'm the original Worcesterian. Because the Fury was never here. Mark was never here. No, I am the original Worcesterian, the vaping variety.
Yeah, I do have to mention this. Is there now going to be some sort of collapse in the order of the universe as all the shenanigans people start living in the same place?
No, pretty much what we're trying to do is we're trying to make Worcester the vaping capital of the world. So we're just trying to get everybody here. So, you know, everybody needs to move to Worcester and it will just be a vaping city. And then when or if vaping ever gets banned, we just declare ourselves our own sovereign state.
All right.
Yeah. We've already decided Fury's going to be Prime Minister and...
God.
Mr. Des Vapor is the Deputy Prime Minister, and I shall be the what do you call it? The foreign affairs person, basically, because I'm just going to tell every other country to kindly jog on.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. The next question: what is your area of work?
Do you want the posh answer or the actual answer?
Both.
The posh answer is I'm a manager at a small logistics firm.
And the non-posh answer?
I work the phones in the taxi office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we've briefly conversed about this before. You are the guy who's normally angry and sweary on the phone when you get asked dumb questions.
And I get asked dumb questions on a daily basis, every 10 minutes. Yes, my favourite is actually, I had a phone call one morning, very early, like 2:30 on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, from a lady. I need a taxi. Okay, where are you? I'm in a field. Now, I don't know if you know Worcester very well, but pretty much as soon as you get out of the city...
Yes, it's semi-rural, yeah.
There is just fields.
Yes.
Right? And there are a lot of fields where events go on and stuff like this and everything. And then I'm like, all right, well, you're going to have to narrow it down. What road is the field on? You know, is there any event going on there? There's a tree.
Did you fall out of it? That would be my question.
I was just like, I can't help you, darling. I don't know where you are. Without knowing where you are, I haven't got a clue.
The next one is, what is your favourite type of music?
I don't really have a specific type. I go through real weird phases. Like, at the moment, I'm listening to a lot of nerdcore. Because it's cool, you know? Hip-hop about geeky stuff. That's, like, right down my alley. But traditionally, I would describe my music taste as anything from Mozart to Manson.
The next question, same thing, but film.
B-movies. Anything with Bruce Campbell in it, I'm there. Yeah, but other than that, anything sort of horror comedy sort of thing. Like, one of my favourite films that's come out in the last couple of years was Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Oh, yeah, I keep meaning to watch that. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny, especially the wood chipper.
Yeah.
Just, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I know what you mean about B movies.
I would say my B-movie obsession started when I was about 5 and I was watching Class and Newcomb High.
All right, yeah.
So anything Troma or anything with Bruce Campbell in it.
Next question. Other than vaping, what are your hobbies and pastimes?
I like to write.
Ah.
Like stories, films. I like to make films. I'm just getting back into the swing of making a few films that will be up on my channel at some point. But other than that, I just really play video games and lark about on the internet with you lot.
Moving along, where do you see vaping going in the future?
I was thinking about this ever since you sent me the questions. I've been thinking about this properly, and I'm not going to give my usual sort of answer. I'm actually going to give a proper serious answer, and I honestly think vaping will just succeed smoking. It will completely wipe out smoking pretty much, and eventually the only people who are going to smoke are going to be hipsters and French movie directors. So I think all that needs to happen is the research that's been going on and that we keep piping on about and that nobody's taken any notice of, but is quite happy to listen to somebody who, you know, naming no names, but a certain professor who recently stepped down from his position, you know, who knows nothing about the subject at all, and he's basically quoting himself because he thinks he's always right. People like that, who are trying to get rid of vaping in general, don't understand the impact that it's had on so many lives already. I mean, I've been vaping for nearly 2 years, and I'm so much better off from vaping than I was from smoking. And I get people coming up to me now every day, pretty much, and asking my advice on where to start with vaping.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way. How many people this weekend were put in hospital because of vaping? I'm gonna go with a conservative estimate and say 1, just because, you know.
Well, you are in a town with Diz Vapor and Fury, so yeah, it's bound to happen. Yeah.
Right. How many people this weekend were put in hospital due to drinking?
Yes.
How many house fires started this week because of smoking?
Oh, don't,
You know.
don't go to the house fire thing.
But
Anyway, right.
but
Yeah.
that's the thing, isn't it? You know, these things are proven to kill and proven to do damage to people, and they're perfectly fine because, you know, the government gets their little cutback and gets their little backhander from the tobacco companies and whatnot. And then they do their active, oh yes, we need to stop people smoking. But really what they're actually saying is, we don't want you to stop smoking.
Yeah.
The quicker you die, the less money we have to give you.
Yes. Okay. So, moving along. The biggie. The one that keeps evolving to fill in all the plot holes. If you're trapped on a desert island, what 5 items would you want to have?
My Fury S, because quite frankly it's a lovely mod. K-Fun, which is going to be chimney coiled, because, you know, chimney coils and K-Fun is the only way to really go with it. 3 liquids, Memph, Red Viper and Scallywag. A portable DVD player and a Red Dwarf box set.
Red Dwarf box set. Interesting choice.
It's my go-to thing. I practically watch at least 3 or 4 episodes of Red Dwarf a day. I just start on series 1, work all the way through, and then when I get to the end, I start on series 1 again.
Yeah.
Well, I just think the whole thing with Red Dwarf is there's so many inconsistencies with the series. Like, so many plot holes. And then eventually, like, 2 series later, they explain the plot holes.
Yes.
And then it's like, from the end of season 2 to the start of season 3, when you went to the beginning of season 3, the first episode, backwards, you get that long spiel in Star Wars style with the text rolling. And you can't actually read the text, it's moving too fast. But when I was younger and had them on video rather than DVD. I did stop it and pause it and read it. And it explains why Crichton changes and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, it's cool. I like it, but
and I have to say, for some reason, after a certain amount of time on the island, I somehow feel you'd be like making little mannequins and reenacting scenes from Red Dwarf.
I did that when I was 10.
Trapped alone on a desert island, I could see you doing it again.
More than likely, I'd just keep wandering around going, dead, they're dead, Dave. Dave, they're dead. They're all dead, Dave. Which I do anyway.
And
so.
there'll be a lovely white sand beach for you to do the...
There we go.
Okay. Right, so thank you very much for participating. It's been lovely to have you.
Not a problem, it's been lovely to be here.
And I shall say to the audience, this has been Beyond Vaping. Watch out for more episodes where I will be talking to vapors. Thank you very much.
And there we go. There's Beyond Vaping after its missed absence last week. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time to put it in last week, so that was supposed to be last week. Yeah, looking at chat there, going through it. The Braveri is one of those devices that always divides opinion. I'm not entirely sure why, but hey, at least we can argue about the amount of choice we've got, which is a good thing at the moment. Well, we've got the choice. Anyway, before I go, I'd like to mention Gary Dibley's Children in Need. Now, he did allude to this last week. Basically, if Gary reaches a certain target, this beard is coming off. And that target is 3,000 Great British pounds. Okay? So if we reach, or when we reach 3,000, I will shave. And you will see me beardless. And that's got to be worth it, isn't it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? I'm not looking forward to it, but there we go. You've got to do these things. Okay, so coming up next week then, I did buy something else for my birthday as well, and that is 2 DNA 40 boards. I'm popping to see D over the weekend, and basically, this Hannah clone and this ZNA clone, or ZNA if we're talking American, are going to have their board swapped out with DNA 40s. So that'll be interesting. So next week we'll have some experiments with dry burning cotton and that sort of thing. In the meantime, however, he says, and you'll get this seamless one day, in the meantime, here's what's coming up.
RY4 Radio.
We'll get the hang of that playlist thing. Okay then, folks. Right. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend the last hour in your company. And if you weren't watching live, you really should. Chat is great. What I get to see of it, because the screen's way over there. Anyway, so until next week, cheerio.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.